Hey YouTube, Mike here. How are you all doing today? I hope we all had a safe and productive week and we're enjoying installing our endless hot water. Okay. Alright, today's video, excuse me, I have had, oh God, a lot of questions. I mean, it's you know, I mentioned, you know, if it's, you know, what my top 5 are, but they keep jumping around, like with the questions that I get. And for probably the past month or better, and then beyond, I've been getting a lot of questions on installing a thermal bypass valve. But installing the thermal bypass valve on like an older, like RU98 or an RU199. All right. We're going to go over proper installation of the bypass valve, show you what you got to do and where you can't use it. We're going to go through that first. I'm going to mention it a few times during the video. A thermal bypass valve. So this valve that you're going to get inside of an RUR 199 or an RUR. It could be 130, 160, 199. Or the HE Plus pump system. That's the only application that you can install this valve. Okay? Comes in this packet. It's a Grundfos product. It's got like an installation manual inside of it. It is their 98727-593. Again, and the Rinnai number is a U306-1449. Again, everything will be in the description below. All right, you cannot install this on an older RU98 or below, the other number, or the older RU, or the newer RU, say 199, 160. It will confuse the tankless. There's nothing inside of it that will tell the unit to shut down. Even if you put an external pump. The only application with a recirc that you can do with those is have a dedicated recirc line. Go back to a video or so ago, and that's the dedicated recirc line with the pump and the aquastat, excuse me, so on and so forth. You cannot use this with those units. It will confuse the units. Second question that I get a lot of, one per customer or one per house. You cannot install multiple bypass valves. It will really confuse the system. So you're going to have to either figure out or ask your customer, what is your most troublesome fixture? Now, 90% of the time, it's the master bathroom for us. But we just did one yesterday, and we put it in the kitchen. So what I'm going to show you here, and what we're going to go through with the swapping out of the plug to the filter, will pertain to everything, no matter where you put this. So if you're a contractor, a plumber, a mechanical guy, and you're going to install an RUR unit, no matter what size it is, remember, you're going to get this. It's going to be in the bottom of the box. So you're going to have to take the unit out, and it's in the bottom with the instruction manual. Not in the instruction manual, it's in this bag. So don't take everything out of the box. Don't go throwing stuff away. Make sure you got everything. You should be throwing away 4 plastic straps, 4 pieces of styrofoam, and a bottom of the box, and then whatever other garbage you throw in there. Everything else you're going to most likely need. All right? So you're going to ask them, what is your most troublesome? Ask them, is it your master? Is it on the other side? The tankless is on the right, the master's on the left. Or they may say, no, I have a guest bathroom there. My master is right next to the tankless or the water heater where it was. But we do a lot of cooking and we got to wait 5 minutes for water. So you'll put it underneath the sink. Again, like I said, yesterday we installed it under the sink. So this is the actual piece. All right, there is a direction. So if you're looking at the unit, you see how you have this boss here and it's flat here? That boss has to go up against the wall. And you'll see it in a minute on the prop. So this thing has to go flat up against the back of the cabinet. Not like this, with it out, because then it'll be backwards. And you'll look, it'll say hot, cold, and then hot and cold going up. So you have, okay, you have your hot, your cold, and then you have your hot and your cold that goes up. But you'll see it on the prop. So, this is your thermal bypass valve. One of the first things you're going to do, like you got the tankless on, say, a table or wherever, and you're prepping it. On the bottom of the tankless, on the hot water side, you're going to find something that looks like that. So this is the bottom of the tankless. This is up in the tankless. This is where the hot water comes. This is where you have your sensor, your thermistor, your freeze protection. But here on the bottom, you're going to have this plug. There's going to be like a white retainer that is going around here and onto a bleeder. You're going to take this off, just cut the retainer, and what you're going to find is you're going to find a factory installed plug. That plug, you're going to leave it in if you have a dedicated return line. So you have a separate return line. You have a cold, a hot, and then another pipe that's coming from the farthest fixture. You do not have to touch this, just leave it in. If you're putting the thermal bypass valve in, you're going to install, and this is the bag that it comes in. Again, it's inside the box. Take everything out of the box. Look for all the little plastic bags, all of the bubble wrap stuff. Take it out. Okay, so inside this bag, you're going to find a filter and you're going to find 2 extra O-rings. Don't throw the bag away, because what you're going to do, now it's a little bit of an oomph to get it out, but you don't need any other O-ring. Put a pair of pliers on this. Don't squeeze it crazy. Push in. You'll feel a click. It'll separate. Now you drop it on the floor. Now you're going to take your filter. You're going to find the little, and then turn it. Now your filter is on. You don't need to put any of the O-rings on. That's it. Just this O-ring is now going to make the seal. Then you're going to go back underneath the unit, and you're going to put the filter in. And all you got to do is hand tighten it. Just hand tighten it. Now on this, you should also add a little bit of that heat-proof grease, the stuff that I've showed you. Just put a little bit of grease on the thread and the O-ring. It'll help if you ever have to remove it, because there might be a time where you may have to clean this. All right? If this is a new installation, I wouldn't do anything until after, because you want to flush it out. You don't want to get any debris in that filter. Now, then you want to take the plug, put it back in the bag, and put it in the unit. When you take the front cover off, put it in the bottom left-hand side. That filter used to come with one of those white wire ties tied to the heat exchanger hot water outlet. Now it comes in the box. Just put it inside, because you never know, someone down the line, the people might say, you know what, I don't like this, run me a return line. And you run it. You need the plug. It's inside the unit. All right, so now, what are you going to find? Well, when you go and you find your, look at this, I had water running. And you find, or you figure out, or the homeowner tells you the troublesome fixture, or you figure out that you want to put it at the farthest, which is the master. When you get underneath the sink, what are you going to find? Of course, you're going to find a waste pipe. You're going to find a hot and cold with some type of speedy going up to the faucet. Now, whether it's a 4-inch center set, an 8-inch center set, a 12-inch, whatever, you're going to find some type of speedy, maybe a braided, maybe poly, who knows. But you're going to find 2 of them. What you're going to do, and through the magic of video, you're going to make it look like that. Damn, I wish I could just do that thing a lot of them do. They snap their fingers and boop, it shows up. But we don't edit. We do everything in real time. So, as you can see, I'm going to zoom in and then start pointing. Let's figure out the zoom here. There we go. Oh, there we go. All right, so let me get my little pointer, and you'll just hear my voice. Okay, as you can see, the boss is up against the back of the wall. You have your hot, your cold. You're going to take your speed. Most of the time, you can take your speedies from that and just loop it in, because the thermal bypass valve is 1/2 inch IPS. Don't put 1/2 inch IPS by 1/4 inch speedy adapters on there. Even the ones with the O-ring, it's not going to work. You need the speedy with the speedy faucet nuts on them, the 1/2 inch IPS on all 4 of them. All right? So you're going to take your 1/4 inch or your 3/8, and you're going to put it in, and then you're going to put it in. Now that is going to, the bypass valve, that pump inside of the unit or on the HE Plus pump system is going to circulate water hot through the bypass valve back into the cold. Now there's a reason that it's called a thermal bypass valve. There's a thermally activated piece in there that shuts down at around 105 degrees. And then it sends the pressure back to the tankless and it'll shut down. And it'll keep doing that until it's satisfied, or until the timer system on the RUR or the Wi-Fi, the control R, that they have it set, shuts down. Then you're going to take your other speedies, and as you can see, they're double 1/2 inch male IPS back up to the faucet. Now, you might have those faucets that have pre-made speedies that have the 3/8. Well, then you're going to have to use compression unions. But pretty much 85% of the time, this is what you're going to find. And this is what it should look like. Then 2 like 1.25 inch screws into the back of the cabinet. Try to do it dead center, because you never know if they routed the pipe and you end up sending a screw through. 1.25 inch screw would be more than enough to hold that in, because this is about 3/4 of an inch the boss, and then say another 3/4 of an inch, 1/2 an inch into the wood. So you should be fine. And that's exactly how it should look. So you'll be going from, we on? Yep, we're on. We'll be going from this. Now again, it doesn't matter whether it's the kitchen sink or the vanity, to this. And that's the way it should look. Now, this bypass valve cannot be hidden inside a wall. You can't be doing new construction and say, oh, I'm going to put it by the shower, and then dump it inside the wall. Unless you put some type of access panel or something, then you could do it. But I wouldn't suggest it. Put it in the vanity. All right, now, of course, if your bathroom has 2 pedestals, that's another story. Then you're going to have to figure it out, because they don't want to see this thing sitting underneath a pedestal. Vanity, yes, but a pedestal, no. Now, we have done it. The people were like, I don't care, I want fast water. We've done it under a pedestal. So, but it don't look good. Not at all. So, again, the thermal bypass valve, something just flew in my eye. The thermal bypass valve can only be used on an RUR, whatever model, and an HE Plus pump system. It cannot be used on the older RU or the newer RU with an external pump. And you cannot put more than one inside a house. It will totally confuse the system. Alrighty? Alright, again, you're going to remove that plug, and you're going to put that filter, and this is it. This is the bottom of the tankless. This is where you put your hot water service valve, right here. And this is right here, and you're going to put it right into here. And what it does is it now filters for the thermal bypass through here, and that filter opens up the part of the tankless that reads the thermal bypass, where the plug plugs that off because water is going back into the cold water with the check valves. Again, go back into my past videos and you'll see what either a dedicated recirc line would be for like an older RU unit or newer, or what it's like for an RUR. All right, YouTube? Alrighty. For those of you, I know a lot of you have sent me emails and stuff about the tools. I had COVID I was down for about almost over 2 weeks. So I did not want to, and I wasn't sick. I mean, I wasn't very bad. I could be up and around. I actually had to go out a few times, wore, a bunch of masks and only did stuff on the outside. But I didn't want to touch anything. So some of yous I mailed them out, and some of yous I messages and explained it to you. But I'll be sending them out this week coming. Alrighty? All right, everything that I have will be down in the description below. And yes, you can get this separately. I mean, you could put one in, and in a year it fouls up. It's not cleanable. You can try. I mean, we have had success once where we brought it out, washed it, flushed it through a garden hose. There is another one out there for another product that I probably will be showing that's actually can be taken apart and cleaned, but that will be in a future video. But you can get this part. You can get it from the internet if you needed another one. And as long as you just shut your two speedies off, you can swap and a bucket and a bunch of rags, you can swap this out without a problem. Okay? All right, YouTube. Again, I'd like to thank everybody for all of those amazing comments. And something big is coming up. And your comments really, really, really inspired this company when they read them. So, again, I am humbled by your comments. Even those of you that I haven't even talked to. Thank you very much. My entire family thanks you. I hope you all be safe out there and have a good week and enjoy your endless hot water. I will see you on the next video. Take care now. Bye-bye.